Welcome to the video. My name's Brian. I'm the SEO Director here at Six City Marketing, and today we're going to talk about how much of your content can AI write. Now, I know you probably came to this video for a hard stance on this, and I'm going to take one. I think you should aim for 75% human, 25% AI with any asset you create. The first tool I want to focus on is this one here, and it's a basic slider that changes the percentage of content you're using to write with AI. As that slider goes up, the system that you need behind that writing to support its quality also has to increase in sophistication. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but that's the first thing to remember. If you are just giving ChatGPT a topic, having it write, and then publishing it on your site, that is definitely not the way to go. And I will prove that with statements from Google and some other information. Now, normally when people ask this question, they kind of mean two different things. So the first thing that they're talking about is when you're just working on one single asset, like a blog post, and they're basically wondering, can I use AI to write it? The second way they ask this question is, what percentage of my overall website can be AI written? All right, they're essentially the same question because if you're over relying on AI to write single assets, well, those are eventually going to accumulate into a higher percentage of your overall website as being AI written. So we can kind of approach the answer in the same way, and it's going to take care of both of those questions. Now, why can't we just prompt ChatGPT with a topic and let it do its thing and publish that? Well, because we keep watching that fail. One of the reasons it fails is because what AI does when you give it a topic is it goes out and it finds a number of resources, which include other web pages. It's going to mash it all together, and it's basically just going to spit out the average. An average is not high performance. Okay. So that's why if you're over relying on it and you're not seeing results, that's why. It's because you're not standing out. You're not creating anything distinctive from everything else that's out there. Now, the other thing is that we are definitely seeing more and more websites come to us that have AI written websites and their performance is crashing. And they've come to us for help to get out of that scenario. Now, we are happy to help them, but it's a shame to see this. And that's why I'm doing this video. We really need to ground ourselves in why it's not okay to just use AI to write everything and what the right kind of percentage is in terms of, how much AI to use and how much human writing to use. Google has a specific statement on AI content and really any content. And I'm going to hop over to that right now so we can read it together. What Google is looking at here and what it's not going to react to favorably is content that is created with little to no effort, little to no originality, and that adds little to no value. Now, think about giving a topic to ChatGPT. That's little to no effort. And then what it's going to spit back at you is average, and that's little to no originality. And therefore, you're offering little to no value. So you're not going to see the performance there. I want to come back to this idea that the more you're going to rely on AI, the more sophisticated the system needs to be that's behind that writing. So if you're just going to write a little bit with AI, like in this first example, let's say 25%, then you still need a system, but it doesn't have to be all that sophisticated. There do need to be some checks and balances in place, and we'll talk about that more later. If you're going to go something like 90 or 100%, you are going to need an incredibly sophisticated system behind that. Now, what does that need to look like? Basically, you need to be giving a ton of detail, context, proprietary data, insights, and guidance to the AI before it ever writes. Otherwise, you're going to get that average slop in return. You also need supervision, very careful supervision at multiple points in the larger pipeline. So you need to be kind of checking in with the sub outputs that are coming through before the final output, or the AI is going to drift, it's going to get way off course, and your result is going to be very poor. Now, here's the thing. Almost nobody has a system that good. Certainly no business owner that I have ever encountered has a system that sophisticated. Because honestly, if you're building a system with that level of sophistication, you're not really getting the convenience out of AI that I understand you're looking for. Here's what a genuinely sophisticated AI system looks like. And I took this from Ryan Law at Ahrefs. He uses this for some informational content. And I'm being very specific there because there's a lot of other content types that he does not use this system on. So even with a sophisticated system, it's a very limited scope of content that he's creating with this. But on the left, we have that example of you just give ChatGPT a topic and you ask it to write and you go ahead and publish it. Not good. Hopefully that's clear by now. What an actual system looks like is you give it your full editorial process that's documented for the AI. You give it writing samples it can load in as context. You give it a human brief that sets the angle you're going to take and some of the anecdotes that should be used in the final piece. And like I said earlier, you give it all kinds of other proprietary data. You give it context on what your business priorities are, really anything and everything to make sure that the tool is working right for you. And then we've got the supervision layer. So we're going to review at the outline step and again when the draft is produced. And then in the final output, you do need someone who really understands search systems and audience copywriting, as well as the business's proprietary data and goals to review that final output and make sure it's what you're going for. Here's the thing though, the less you rely on AI, honestly, the easier life gets and the better the performance gets. This is the only system you need. So it's one short chat a month with your agency. So this is going to be 15 to 30 minutes. It's very low burden on you. What we're going to do during that session is we're going to pull out what only you know. This is the gold. It's human, it's experienced, it's nuanced. It's something that your competitors can't replicate. So it really builds a moat over time the more you do this. And then our team is going to take that and run with it. We're going to update pages, we're going to create new content, and we're going to really carve out an original space on the web. Now, I know you probably came to this video for a hard stance on this, and I'm going to take one. I think you should aim for 75% human, 25% AI with any asset you create. We're going to lead with expertise, as I discussed in the previous step. And then we're going to use AI as a tool that assists us and helps us enhance the content, not as a tool that produces it. We don't need an overly elaborate system. We just need an expert, some collaboration, and an agency that knows how to use AI and gets the benefits from it while also achieving excellent results. The thing is, when you sound average and an AI system goes out to find an answer, why would it choose you over the high authority websites that it can get that same information from? That's why it's so important and effective for you to stand out because you are going to offer information that cannot be found anywhere else and is much more likely to be included in an AI output. Now, let's talk a little bit more about what that 25% AI should look like, because I'm really specific about this. It has to be the right 25%, or you're really not following this philosophy. Here's what's fine to write with AI: your title tags, your meta descriptions, any headings on the page, and then things like bullet points. You can build tables with it. You can write key takeaways for the reader, and you can use it for pull quotes and impact statements. All of that is fine, and AI can really help improve your content just by doing these simple things. And this is the stuff we're going to keep human. Basically, the vast majority, 75% of the body content, your expertise and stories, your opinions, your recommendations, things that only you could say. That's the whole magic of your content. And we don't want to siphon that out. That's what's really adding value to the web and to a user's query, which is why you're going to rank really well and you're going to appear in more AI outputs. Kind of the thing I live by is that once it's more than a sentence or two, a human should probably be writing it. That's where your alarm bell should go off and you should take a look at it and make sure we're not over relying on AI. Now, as a business owner, you might be saying, okay, confession, I've given ChatGPT a topic and I've had it write the whole thing and I've published it before. But after watching this video, I'm kind of getting this idea. Couldn't I just dictate my expertise on a topic and then give that to ChatGPT and go ahead and publish that? You could. That is better than just giving it a topic and having the AI write, but it's still vastly incomplete. And this is why I think that even that is not going to get you high performance. Let's look at the full picture. So your dictated draft kind of sits in the middle. What we would do before that as an agency is deep keyword and prompt research. And we would absolutely be diving into your audience from all different angles because we want to prepare to build the perfect piece of content. That's where your expertise comes in. And then on the other side of that, once we've extracted, we're going to do on-page optimization. We're going to format for scannability and large language model interpretation. We're going to do very deliberate and targeted internal linking, and we're going to write copy that converts. So it's really important to kind of take in this full process when you're considering questions like that. And when you can put a simple system in place, when you use the 75-25 split I'm recommending today, and when we've got a collaborative client who can feed us that expert information, these are the results that you can get. This is for a wildlife removal company that saw 343 leads in a single month and these year-over-year gains. 217% improvement in ChatGPT referrals, 86% improvement in site clicks, where a lot of their competitors and many other websites are actually seeing a drop in traffic because Google's AI overviews is answering more queries than ever, a 22% increase in Google Business Profile clicks, a 10% improvement in time spent reading the content. And that's a really important one. That's something that human expert content does. It really engages people. It gives them that sense of you there with them, giving them that arm over the shoulder advice in person. It's about as close as you can get to that on the page, and it really improves content engagement. And we saw a jump from number 3 to position number 1 for their highest revenue query. Doesn't sound like a lot, but the click and conversion difference you get from a jump like that is very significant. I hope that clears things up and helps you understand why you can't just give ChatGPT a topic and have it write your content and watch your site perform well. It's just not going to cut it. There's no reason to overcomplicate things. Work with an agency that has the right systems in place and understands how to use AI as leverage instead of something that's going to knock you down in the rankings. And you're going to get the efficiency gains, but you're also going to see your business grow. Reach out to us if you want a free site assessment, and we'll be happy to talk to you about what we think are your most effective levers.